ahead and follow Kasey and Alexis, and then Megan will be on the other side if you, for some reason, can't see them on one side. All right, so please stand facing the mirror with your feet about shoulder width apart, so that you're relaxed and in a comfortable position. Next, take your hands and put them over the lower part of your rib cage. Take a deep inhale through the nose, expanding the rib cage, allowing your fingers to separate. Imagine filling all the space in your abdominal cavity with air. Exhale out through the mouth all the way to the point where you can't breathe out anymore. Imagine squeezing out every last bit of air you have. You should feel your fingers come back together. Inhale. It's important that when breathing through the nose to fill up with as much air as you can. You want to really fill all the space in your lungs, pushing it all the way back. And exhale. When you exhale again, imagine squeezing all the air out. This will engage your core and really work those core muscles. Feel free to close your eyes if you want to really relax and get in the zone. Inhale. We're going to continue doing the breathing exercise. So go ahead and keep breathing in and out at your own pace. Alexis and Kasey will keep demonstrating. So as we continue to do this, I'm going to tell you a little bit about why breathing is important in Pilates. Remember, as you breathe, to think about breathing in during the easy parts of a movement and breathing out during the really hard and strenuous parts of a movement. Go ahead and continue breathing. Breathing in Pilates is important because it can help release any tension that you have, really relaxing those muscles and all that tension within you. So being relaxed will help prevent injuries from occurring. Breathing also brings your body into focus. It allows your body to form into a good posture. You don't want your shoulders up to where you're wearing them like earrings. You want them really down and back in a good posture. Most of us don't breathe correctly during the day. We're very short breaths, very tense breaths, which allows us to have these bad postures. So you want to really fully let go of all that old stale air and breathe in that fresh air to fully oxygenate the bloodstream. Inhale and exhale. Anyone have any questions? Kasey's going to be good.
All right, great job, guys. That looked really good. Some nice breathing going on. We're going to be incorporating that breath into all of our movements today. So I'll be cueing you to remember to breathe properly, and we're going to have fun. So before we start, I will be instructing for a little bit, and then we have Alexis demonstrating in the front and Megan to the side, and eventually I'm going to ask you guys to face towards Megan to the right side of the room so that you can see kind of both instructors. And if at any point in time you can't see an instructor or a demonstrator, then feel free to move your mat so that you can. And also we have this wonderful mirror for self-check. So if you guys notice that with our cues, if you're doing movements right or wrong, go ahead and just look in the mirror. And throughout the flow, feel free to ask any questions or pause this at any time if anything hurts, like Emilie already said. We really don't want anything to hurt, so if you need modifications, feel free to ask. And Emilie also will be walking around giving feedback. And one thing is that she will be placing her hands on you and adjusting you. So if you don't want to be touched or you just kind of want to do it by yourself, feel free to just tell Emilie, I'm good, and we can keep going. So we're gonna get right into it. So everyone face to the right, stand on your mat, and we're going to go into a pose called mountain pose. So stand with your feet shoulder width apart, make your knees slightly bent and soft, and make sure your core is tight by tucking that pelvis under and rolling those shoulders back and down away from your neck, down your spine, away from your ears. Like Emilie said, we don't want to have them up here as earrings. We want to just really roll them down the spine. So put your arms at your sides, palm facing out. And from here, a nice big inhale through the nose. Lift those arms up to the ceiling till your palms touch above your head. Stay here for a little bit and imagine a string being pulled from the top of your hands up towards the ceiling. Really lengthening that spine. Remembering to keep your core tight and your knees soft. Okay, now exhale through the mouth and then just let those arms drop heavy. Like they each weigh 1,000 pounds. Good, okay, now inhale, arms up. Good. Looks really good. Okay, imagine that string being pulled by the hands again. Closing your eyes if need be, really just feeling the movement. Looks great. Keeping that core tight, feeling a nice stretch. Now let those arms just fall to the side. Good. Letting all stress go. Okay, now again, inhale, arms up. Good, palms touch. Really being lengthened, that spine is just being pulled in both directions. Good, breathing. Now exhale, let those arms drop to your side. Good, okay, one more time at your own pace. Inhaling your way up. Great. And then when you feel your body wanting to exhale, go ahead, drop those arms and exhale. Great, looks really good. Okay, so now we're gonna go into the move called the roll down. So from here, same stance. So we wanna have those feet shoulder width apart, knees slightly bent, core tight. And then inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And then tuck your chin into your chest and slowly roll down to the ground. So vertebrae by vertebrae, letting your arms hang loose like a rag doll. Pressing those heels into the ground as you roll down. And wherever you guys can go, if it's not the floor, then just hang out where you are. Just to feel that nice stretch. And listen to your body. If your body only wants to go so far, that is totally fine. We just want to feel that nice stretch in the hamstrings and calves and lower back. Feel that nice stretch and remember to breathe in this movement. If it's hard, which it's going to be hard because we're just waking up your body, then just think about the breath as we are breathing, flowing into the hard parts. So flowing into those muscles that are tight, helping to relax them. Good, so we're gonna inhale here at the bottom, and then as you exhale, begin to roll up the same way you rolled down. So vertebrae by vertebrae, really slowly. The last thing to come up should be your head. Really pulling with those hamstrings and glutes to pull yourself back up. Good, so we're gonna do it again. So inhale through the nose, exhale, slowly roll down, chin to chest, vertebrae by vertebrae, feeling that nice stretch, letting yourself just go limp, really relaxing the back of that neck, just letting your head hang soft, feeling that nice stretch, loosening up that fascia. Good, looks really good. Now inhale at the bottom through your nose. And exhale to roll yourself back up, pulling from your hamstrings and glutes. Last thing to come up should be your head. Feeling that blood rushing through your body, waking you up, energizing you. Great, looks awesome. Okay, so we're gonna roll down one more time, and then once we roll down, we're gonna stay down. So inhale and exhale, roll down, chin to chest, vertebrae by vertebrae. Good. Come down as far as you can this time. And from here, we're gonna go into a pose called downward facing dog. So from the bottom, you're gonna inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, and then slowly walk your hands 2 or 3 walks out in front of you so that you're in a nice downward dog. Good, so you really want your legs straight, pushing away on the floor with your arms. Good, so we're gonna breathe here, keeping your palms firmly planted into the ground and letting your head hang heavy like before. Really send those hips back. Feel like they're pulling back towards the left side of the room to get a deeper stretch in those legs. Continuing to inhale and exhale through the movement, breathing into the hard parts. And if at any time this becomes too uncomfortable, go ahead and just drop down to your knees, take a little break, and then you can pop right back up. And close your eyes if you want to, really relaxing into the pose, relaxing into the movement. Good. Good, and got it down. All right, so now we're gonna stretch out even more. So we're gonna bend the right knee a little bit to feel a nice deep stretch in the left calf and hamstring. Remembering to keep breathing. Try to really touch that heel into the ground. Feel a nice deep stretch. Keep those arms relaxed. If you need a break, feel free to drop down. Good, looks good. Okay, now go ahead and switch and bend the left leg to feel a deeper stretch in the right calf. If you need to come off your mat, if you're slipping at all, you can always pull your toes just back on the floor, not on the mat, because I know it can be a little bit hard. Good, looks good. Okay, now remember to inhale and exhale into the movements. You guys are doing great. Now just tread through. So alternating legs. Good, good. You guys are doing really good. Yeah, if you need to take a break, don't hesitate. Just loosening up those legs. All right, great. So now everyone drop down to your knees. You guys doing great. Okay, so we're gonna go into a move called cat-cow. So this is gonna be a nice relaxation pose. So bring those knees to the floor and then walk your hands. Make sure your hands are right under your shoulders. So the wrists in line with the shoulders. And then those knees right in line with your hips. So you can look in the mirror, make sure you got that. Good, looks really good. Okay, so then untuck those toes so the tops of your feet are flat on the ground. And then we're gonna feel our way into what's called a neutral spine in Pilates. So what I mean by that is your head, torso, and pelvis all in one line, like that, all in one line to start out. Good. Okay, so inhale and extend your back as far as you can go by rounding out your spine, just like Alexis is doing right here. Creating a nice C curve or arch with your back. This is called the cow. Imagine you are scooping out that back, belly button to spine. Just think of your belly button really cinching in on your spine, like a little string, pulling your belly button towards your spine. Look up with your head and tilt your pelvis anteriorly, lifting that chest up and away from the belly and extending your tailbone towards the ceiling. You should feel a nice stretch in your abdominals opening up your chest and back. Does that feel good? Yeah? Good. Okay, so now we're going to exhale and round out your back to the ceiling like a cat. Going into a nice flat back flexion. So let your head hang between your shoulders once again, and really pull that belly up towards the spine. And feeling a widening of the lower back as you do this. Remembering to breathe. On your next inhale, go into that cow again. So really lifting up your head, broadening those shoulders. Really getting into it now. Good. And on your next exhale, go back into that calf again. So really rounding out that spine. Good. Looks really good, guys. Okay, and on your next inhale, go back into the cow. Really creating that nice C curve in the back.
Good one.
Yep, good. Good job. Good. And on your next exhale, go back into cat again. So we're rounding that out, letting your head hang. Great. Feeling that nice stretch. Good. Okay, and then on your next inhale, go to cow, and then just at this time, alternate inhaling cow, exhaling cat at your own pace. Whatever your body needs at this moment, just really flow through the movement, remembering to breathe into the nose, out through the mouth. A couple more times here. Really releasing that lower back pain if you have it, loosening up the spine, stretching out those hips. Great. Okay, so from here, we're going to go into a basic plank. So we're ramping it up a little bit. So inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, and then push those knees up, pop right up into a plank. So we're really going to focus on doing the correct form of a plank. So at any time, if it becomes too much, once again, drop down to those knees, take a break, shake out the arms. So remember the neutral spine from before? We really want that head, torso, and hips in one line. So you can check in the mirror, make sure your hips, really especially, are in line with your body. So we don't want to pike or drop it, just in one line. Remembering to breathe into the movement. Good. Squeezing those biceps together to keep you up. Keeping the bases of your index fingers firm. Okay, great. So go back into that downward dog like before. Just give your arms a little bit of a relaxation, a little bit of a stretch. We're going to hang out here for a couple seconds, give your body a break. Good. Breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Good. On your next inhale, come back into that plank and really focus on pressing your quads back up to the ceiling. So really pulling those quads tight against the bone. Good, but resist your tailbone dipping towards the floor. So visualize lengthening it towards your heels. And then also, when you think about your skull, really push the base of your skull away from your neck. So looking down at the floor, keeping those eyes and throat soft. Remembering to breathe. Good, okay, push back into that downward dog again. Good, you guys are doing really good. Yeah, just breathing here, relaxing. Good. Libby, we're getting to that. Good. Okay, so now come back, and we're going to do plank one more time, really focusing on that form. biceps together, pushing those hands into the floor, lengthening the pelvis away from the body, pushing those heels towards the floor. Good. Great. Okay, now we're going to move on to a nice relaxation pose. You guys did great with that. So this pose is called child's pose. Oh. So from this plank pose, we're going to come on your next inhale to a kneeling position with your big toes touching behind you. Tops of the feet flat on the ground. And then separate your knees, hip distance apart, and then come back and sit on those ankles. And if this hurts anyone, the ankles or anything, if it hurts, then you can modify and just come up and then go into what's called a puppy pose. So just laying your arms flat, which I'll go into. So what you're gonna do from here, if you're here, stretch your arms out long on the floor. If it does hurt your hip flexors or your ankles, you can just keep that butt right up in the air and you still get a nice good stretch. So we're really gonna relax into this here, breathing deep, remembering to inhale and exhale, firmly planting those palms deep into the ground, remembering to breathe, feeling your tailbone broaden across the back of the pelvis, narrowing your hips towards your belly button. Think about lengthening your tailbone back and away from the pelvis. And then lift your skull away from the back of your neck. So feeling that stretch all the way down your spine. Now think about really releasing the fronts of your shoulders towards the floor, rounding that spine. Feeling the weight of the front shoulders pull those shoulder blades wide across your back. Sinking deep into the pose, visualizing someone putting a nice, soft, heavy comforter on your back. Just warm, soothing, sinking into the floor, feeling that stress melt away, breathing, relaxing, remembering to inhale and exhale. On your next exhalation, release your torso a little deeper onto your thighs. Really feeling that nice stretch. Breathing. Good.
All right, everyone, sit back on your heels. Come up to a nice, comfortable sitting position. You can face me. So the next set of moves are going to be done lying supine on the mat on our back. We're going to focus on engaging the core, maintaining a neutral spine, which we'll talk about, and breathing throughout the exercise. We really want to emphasize good breathing, continue to practice that. And again, if you have any questions about any of the movements, feel free to ask us, ask Emily. If you have pain, ask for modifications. We don't want this to be painful for you. First, we're going to begin to transition to our back. So we're going to do a roll down to our back, kind of like what we did before, but we're going to be going backwards this time. So face the right side of the room. Sit up with your legs shoulder width apart, straight out in front of you. And your arms outstretched in front of you as well, all facing each other. We're going to take a deep inhale, arch our back, creating a C curve, pulling your belly button towards your spine. And as you exhale, slowly roll back, vertebrae by vertebrae, inch by inch, down onto the mat. Keeping your abdominals tight as you control. A nice, slow, controlled movement. Good. Your arms float behind your head and then behind your head, outstretched by your ears. Good. Great. Now inhale at the bottom. And exhale, tuck your chin to your chest and slowly roll up, stacking your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. If this is too difficult, you can place your hands on your hamstrings and help. Good. And you can place your hands on your hamstrings and help pull yourself up by your arms.
Lord.
Good. Okay, let's try it again. Inhale. Exhale, curve that spine like a C, pulling your belly button towards your spine. Slowly control, rolling back. Good. Just very slowly, your arms floating as you go down to end outstretched by your ears. As you go, as you time it correct, you can work on the timing so that as you end on the down, your arms are already down by your side, outstretched by your head. So let's take an inhale and exhale, begin to roll up, stacking that spine one vertebrae at a time. So roll back up to sitting, arms outstretched in front of you. Good. Try it one more time. Inhale, exhale, tuck that spine. Pull your belly button, use your abdominals for control as you roll down. Arms following so they end above your head. Great, good job. All right, now let's go up one more time. Inhale, exhale, roll up. Vertebrae by vertebrae, inch by inch. Really feeling that flow of your breath and the rhythm to aid you as you pull up. Last time down. Inhale, exhale, tuck. That spine and roll down. Really focusing on just going slowly into the shoulders. Nice. Good job, guys. So before we begin the next exercise, I'm going to teach you how to properly move in a supine position. So you can stay lying down and just listen as I speak. The spine, as we know, has three normal curves. It has the cervical, the thoracic, and the lumbar curve. So while lying relaxed on your mats, slide your feet up so your knees are bent to a 45-degree angle, feet flat on the floor, and float your arms overhead so your palms are, so they're by your sides with your palms facing down on the ground. Good. Now, proper spine position in Pilates means having a space between your neck and the mat and a space between your lumbar spine and the mat. We don't want an exaggerated anterior tilt of your pelvis, like in the lordosis, and with your chest puffed out, nor do we want too much of a tilt posteriorly so that there's no lumbar curve in the spine. So you should feel the back of your ribs pressing deep into the mat, and take a minute to feel those spaces between your neck and at your lumbar spine to make sure they're there and correct if necessary. Imagine a rolled towel between your lumbar spine and the ground and your neck and the ground, just kind of holding that position for you lightly. Does everybody feel that correctly? Any questions? All right. So now we're going to bring our legs into what we call a tabletop position. So contract your abdominals and raise your legs to a 90-degree angle at the knee. Keep that 90-degree angle at your hip with your femur directly perpendicular to the floor, and your tibias should be parallel to the floor. Feet apart. Libby, uncross you. Oh, just kidding. Okay, sorry. If your knees are too close to your torso, it makes the exercise easier. Keep your arms by your sides with your palms facing down, firmly pressed into the mat for stability. And this exercise is called the single leg toe tap. So from tabletop, inhale and contract your abdominals. Exhale and slowly lower your right leg